Hi, this is Mr. Capert. In this video, I'm going to show you one way to make the mount for your motor. You do not have to do it this way, but this is one way of doing it. You open a new part file, and like always, you're going to start a 2D sketch. Choose a plane, and I'm going to start with the round part that the motor would be glued to. Use 0.93, that fits tightly to the motor. The motor's about 0.93. And then what I'm going to do is a second circle, and it's up to you to figure out how thick you want this to be. So dimension between these two. And if you have issues, try this over and over. Sometimes this dimensioning doesn't work for some reason. I got lucky. First time it worked. So you can make it anywhere from a 1/16 to an 1/8 in thickness. I'm going to make it an 1/8, but that you really probably shouldn't. You probably should make it a 1/16. I'm just trying to see who copies me straight off. And then you could use the line tool here. And I'm going to make the, let's just say the piece that jets out that the bolt goes through. And I would not use the dimensions I'm using right now. And then we can just go back. It's like, that's straight. Yeah. Now, with this tab, you don't want to make it too long or it'll run into your axle potentially when you're tensioning the belt on your car. But you don't want to make it too short because there's a bolt that needs to go down and through. And if you make it too short, you won't be able to get a screwdriver on that bolt. So this is the first step. Then you guys got to decide how high up on the motor this needs to go. It really does not need to go that far since it's going to be glued. You could even go way down here, I think. Just as long as you've got a decent amount of area that's glued. And now what I'm going to go back is trim all of this excess stuff. Trim this off, unless you want this to go all the way around the motor. There's no need for that though. So now you get a nice shape, solid shape, just one shape. Finish sketch, extrude. Wait on your slow computer. Ha. And then put how far back you want this to go. I would measure the depth of the motor and make it the same as the depth of the motor. I'll have those so you can measure those. I would not use, I don't know if 1 inch is right, so I would not copy that. So you've got your motor here. Next step is to put this hole in here. So you're going to do a 2D sketch once again. And you're going to put a hole in here. Let's see, I think 0.15 works well. Let me double check that. Yeah, 0.15 works well. And then make sure you center it. Use the dimension tool to center this. You need to calculate what that is. Mine, the overall thickness of this ended up being 1 inch, so this would be 0.5. And then, oh, that doesn't look right. Okay, it's probably not 0.5. You guys do the math on yours, and then dimension how far you want it in. Just remember there has to be enough for a washer to go like right in this area. So you'll finish that and do an extrude cut. Choose the circle. I don't know if your guys' computer does this, but mine always freezes up anytime I try to extrude anything. Choose the shape, change it to cut. Make sure you put this in the right spot where it's going to line up on your car. If it doesn't line up right on your car, your motor might sit too far out or too far into the body and not line up. The pulleys need to line up once the motor goes into this thing. And then last, you guys should put your team number on here. Mine's 4. Okay, finish sketch. Extrude. Choose the number. You could cut this too if you didn't want to raise it. And always raise these if that's what you want to do by about 0.02. Will show up on the print fairly well. And then color it in, whatever color you want to make it. And remember to save this correctly. Do a save as. Find your folder on the H drive. Find the folder with your solar car. And then do team, whatever number you are, and call this motor mount and hit save. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to save this. Hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, just let me know.